Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders Midweek.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, girl.
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Hibernating.
I'm chilly right now.
I'm hibernating. I'm telling you, bro, I've hardly left the house for like 3 days because it's cold.
Yeah.
I'm still in my pajamas at 9 o'clock at night.
From this morning?
I have not brushed my hair. I did brush my teeth earlier.
Okay.
I feel disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm just like a big old bum.
Yeah, you know, what you're describing is a good day to me. This is a win.
Well, it's very out of character for me. I don't normally do this. And all I've done is sleep. Because I've taken, like, every day I've taken, like, a 4-hour long nap in the middle of the day. So I just feel like I've accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
Except I did work on our latest episode that will be dropping this weekend.
In yesterday's clothes.
That's all I've done.
So are you okay? Are you just chilling, or do you feel depressed?
No,
Because you were
I'm
describing depression.
Yeah, no. I've just sort of been battling this cold that does not want to go away.
Yeah.
I have so much sinus pressure. It's miserable.
I know.
I don't know. And then it's just winter, and it just makes me want to be like asleep.
Well, look.
I don't know.
It's rained for days on end, which always
that's a problem.
makes you kind of sad. And we're in the winter months. We assume it's winter now, and it's all cold and dreary.
That's why they call it the blues.
Yes, Elton told us all about it.
Yeah,
He really did. He was on to something. But you know what? There are brighter days ahead. You know.
Yeah, in about 4 months.
That's the way when I'm feeling kind of down. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, you know what?
I'm not even really feeling down.
I can't. It can only get better.
It's just cold. And I worked out last night, like pretty hard, so I'm really stiff today. I just can't get motivated.
Wow.
Yeah.
We went, I got to say the late night, you go to the late night gym sesh and it's not
the best time to go. It's empty.
It's empty and you can get all the stuff you want. And, man, I've had some of my best sessions late at night.
But we're on kind of a weird schedule than most.
We are.
Because of your strange work hours.
Yeah.
And I try to tend to, like, I guess, keep hours around you, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, you better. I'm the sun.
I know.
You can orbit around this.
Who else will light up my life the way that you do?
No, well, yeah, I work like 1 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, basically. And then by the time I sleep, get up, boom, 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 get a few hours in. It's time to go back. Gosh.
I know, and I am on a strange, plus I have like all the sleep issues. I'm sure people don't care, but we are on kind of a bit of a strange schedule, but that's okay. It's our life, and we can live it how we choose. Isn't that correct, Dylan?
I know, in fact, that our listeners do care,
but
they probably want us to move on from this. So enough about me.
Stay warm out there, y'all. It's cold. It's like a cold front. It's moved into my bones.
God, what are you, a 90-year-old Appalachian woman?
I feel like it.
Appalachia woman?
Yeah, I can always tell you when it's about to rain. My hip hurts.
The barometer must be dropping.
My roller derby hip hurts. It's about to rain.
Oh my gosh, my knees are old. I'm just telling you, man. It's starting to I was doing pretty good, Still felt real physical, spry, but
youthful.
Last year or so, I'm heading towards 47. It's been a bit of a downhill journey.
Dang.
Well, I can still
It feels like it happened quick too.
I can still do the things I did before, but they leave a mark on me. I drag around. You claim that I grunt a lot.
You make a lot. Yeah, you do.
That
I can't even make because I try to tease you by making grunting sounds, and it's like I can't even produce the amount of sounds that you make on the daily.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not. It's just natural. It's organic grunts.
I see that. I see that.
All right, so here we are in the midweek, and we're going to talk about a little bit of true crime news. Oh, right, I have something that's actually true crime.
Okay, is it news? Is it
it's big
newsworthy?
news.
Is it discussion worthy?
It's big news.
Is it sponge worthy?
Yeah,
I like that Seinfeld reference.
Yes, Elaine, it's sponge worthy.
Okay.
I was watching about the guy, guy who shot the CEO.
Luigi.
Yes, it's Mario's brother.
Luigi. Why is
Um,
that such an amazing name? I just want to say it. Luigi.
Yeah, it is. I always say it like that in my head,
Luigi.
but
Okay.
I want to be, sensitive to other people's feelings.
If
So
your name is Luigi, you're probably saying it like that too.
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because it's an amazing name.
So the guy who shot the CEO of United Healthcare, Luigi, and I was reading about that, and people are trying to, oh gosh, what's going on here? Why did he do it? All these questions I've thought myself. But I was reading about the person who notified the McDonald's employee that, hey, I think that's the guy from the news. And then, of course, they alerted authorities. They may not indeed receive the $60,000 reward. And I've seen this in the past, and it got me thinking, I think they screw you out of the reward every time. So New York City put up $10,000. But that has to lead to, all the way through conviction. So, I mean, gosh, here at Mount Murders, we know sometimes that could be, in a case like this, that could be 4, 5, 6 years before it gets all the way through the courts. And then here's the real kicker. The FBI put up $50,000 reward, and they actually have to nominate you to receive the reward at some point. You cannot self-nominate. And then the ultimate decision rests in the hands of the Secretary of State, who can actually change the amount of their reward, or just decide not to give it to you at all. So basically, it doesn't pay to snitch. That's what I'm getting from this.
Well, I mean, does it ever pay to snitch?
All you're going to end up with is stitches.
Or being called a bitch?
Yeah, there's that. And we saw this.
So what's the motivation if we're going to offer you a reward, but we're not actually going to pay out?
Yeah. I don't get it. I think it's just something they say.
It's a damn lie.
It is a damn lie indeed.
That's not okay. Nobody likes being lied to.
Won't they just be like, it's a $3 billion reward? Because they're not going to pay it out anyway. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
true.
next thing you know,
we're going to give you $100 billion.
$1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What you got?
That's some shit, Dylan.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit.
I don't like that.
You know what? The person may have thought very well they were going to get the reward, and that's why they dialed them out. Absent the reward, they might not have said anything.
Did you see, well, I think you showed me Burger King's tweet on X. It was like, we don't snitch.
We don't snitch.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they said Burger King won the internet.
Super cheeky. All right, Dylan, I have our top story. I mean, this is just absolutely breaking true crime news. We have to talk about it.
What you got?
The story of the hour. Susan Smith, who is serving a life sentence in South Carolina for the 1994 murders of her two sons, had some ambitions if she was paroled and allowed to walk free. Can you guess what it was? Her goal.
Well, I'm going to guess it wasn't a line of children's clothing.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp, womp.
She was trying to get on Dancing with the Stars, according to her former lover.
Dancing with the Stars?
Yes.
Look, I know they've had some kind of maybe people on there that people's like, why is this person on here? But Susan Smith, child murderer? Is that how they're going to announce her or introduce her?
She thought it would be fun to be on the show, and then they had put Anna Delvey on there, so Susan felt like it was a possibility and was like, ooh, people can watch me dance.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, but I just find that to be so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous that she thinks anybody wants to see her on Dancing with the Stars.
Nobody wants to watch you cha-cha.
You're not a star, number one.
I mean, I might watch you dance off a cliff. I have a question. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but who actually watches Dancing with the Stars? I don't think I've ever met anybody who watches that show.
America watches.
They do? I've never seen it. I don't even really understand the premise. So they get like D-list celebrities, right?
No, not always D-list now. And it's in the title of the show. I mean, come on. You're dancing with the fucking stars. I mean, it's a dance competition.
Like choreographed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that.
All right. I mean, I feel like I've just seen like little clips, but I've never actually like seen a show, so I don't really even know how it works.
I'm not going to judge people for their basically their reality trash TV.
Well, I know you love some stuff.
Because I mean, I go through spells.
I'm surprised you don't watch Dancing with the Stars. And I'm not even saying it's trashy. I'm just saying, like, I don't know anyone who watches it. And I mean, everybody knows I don't really care for reality shows anyway.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
know.
probably the last thing I'm going to watch. And not to say that it's like a stupid, like I said, I don't know anything about it. But if I'm going to watch a reality-based show, I would rather watch something that's a competition show.
Why they all of a sudden run around like Survivor's still a thing? Or is that just because, sometimes you'll be watching a certain streaming service.
It is?
Remember, we saw, they're like, oh, the new Survivor. I'm like, what? What the fuck? Like,
people still watch
who
Survivor.
watches that?
I guess I'm just taking for granted that these shows have been out for a really long time.
Right.
Because, like, Dancing with the Stars, that's been on for what? Like, well over a decade, right?
I was going to say probably 10 seasons plus.
I mean, I'm thinking, didn't it go back like 10, 15 years? So it just seems like, wow, people still watch. That's a long time for, like, a reality competition show.
Well,
Just like Survivor's been on since, what, the early 2000s?
And now you got the Masked Singer. And I really don't. I guess they're singing and you don't know who it is.
Okay.
I mean, are they singing like a different voice? Because if it's a
See,
famous,
I guess there's like all these competing shows, right? Because is American Idol still a thing?
I don't know.
And then there's The Voice. Now, I did back in the day watch American Idol, but only the first few episodes when they would have like the terrible singers on there and it was funny.
The people that freak out and shit.
Yeah.
I
Or that
know.
were just awful. Like that was funny, but I never really got into it. And I've never seen The Voice, but it's like American Idol kind of, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and then there was like America's Got Talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that show maybe had a variety of performers, not just singers.
Well, yeah, you have
Okay.
magicians, you have
Okay.
it just acts basically that can go on in like a supportive venue in Vegas or
Yeah,
something.
when I was working at the little radio station, we had a group, a musical group from the town where I worked. They were on America's Got Talent and kind of made it almost to the end.
Oh,
So I interviewed them a couple of times.
really?
Yeah.
They singing?
Yeah, they're really talented. Mountain Faith, they're like a bluegrass gospel, but then they sort of were doing like bluegrass, pop bluegrass, if that makes sense. They were really talented.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool, but yeah, it just seems like there's so many of those shows that I end up getting kind of confused about what's what.
Yeah, and then every country has its own versions of a lot of these things.
Yeah. I'm just a nerd. The only thing I like to watch are cooking competitions. I've made my way through binge watching all of the Top Chef seasons within like 2 months. That was my gym show, and I've watched all of them. And now I've moved on to Hell's Kitchen.
Nice. Hell's Kitchen, dude. Gordon Ramsay will just say anything to people, dude. And don't let you be like fat or short or ugly or anything. He's going to say it. He's like, okay. Oh, yeah, big boy. You think you're something, huh, big boy?
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like, damn,
I've heard
Jordan.
him say some crazy shit to people. And I'm like, bro, I can't believe somebody has like punched you in your face yet.
I can't believe you haven't been canceled, kid. I mean, for real. He's tripping. But I still love him.
Yeah, I know. I just want to eat his beef Wellington.
I want to eat his food, too.
All right, Dylan, back to some news. Susan Smith not going to be on Dancing with the Stars,
Good.
unfortunately.
She's starting
I
a
was
new...
hoping we could pair her up with like Scott Baio or Hulk Hogan and like watch them rumba.
That actually I almost would watch that. She's starting a new show called Dancing with Inmates
She could.
because she's still in jail, and that's where I hope she stays.
Maybe they can do a rendition of Cell Block Tango, right? Here we go, Dylan. A Virginia man was arrested after allegedly trying to steal more than $1,000 worth of items from a Walmart right in front of dozens of cops who were at the store for a holiday event. You've heard of Shop with a Cop, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Chesterfield County Walmart was hosting its annual Shop with a Cop event where local police partner with impoverished children to help them pick out gifts for the holidays. And that's when this would-be bandit struck. 32-year-old Hector Velasquez Maldonado was trying to take off with nearly $1,400 worth of merchandise, despite the fact that there were nearly 50 police officers and sheriff's deputies all around at the time of the theft.
Yeah, I guess he assumed they would not bother with him. I mean, is it maybe he's one of these people who's just gotten used to just taking shit and nobody saying nothing or nobody saying anything?
Can I tell you something?
That guy's a dumbass.
Can I admit something to you guys?
Did you
To
steal?
all of you? No.
Oh,
No.
damn.
But I've been having these really strange dreams lately. Just very vivid, strange. And I kind of go through periods of having like super weird dreams and then I can't remember them for a while. Then they'll be super vivid again. Last night, I had the strangest dream that I was shoplifting and trying to figure out how I could get away with shoplifting from the store. And I was like really stressed out in the dream.
What were you shoplifting?
I don't even remember.
I figured it'd be like pallets or some shit.
Like wooden pallets?
Makeup pallets.
I was shoplifting a wooden pirate leg. No. I don't know, Dylan. I mean, that wasn't the important part of the dream.
So the important part was you trying to figure out how to get away with it.
Yeah, like stressing out I was going to get caught. And then but telling myself like, I don't have to do this, but feeling like I had to. I don't know. It was a really strange, I guess it was just like an anxiety dream or something.
Yeah, you have a lot of those.
But I woke up like, I would never. I would never break the law.
Baby.
Yeah.
You know, if you become a criminal, it's really going to affect the credibility of this podcast.
Or would it be a great marketing strategy like a true crime podcast? Hold on. A true crime podcast brought to you by a true criminal.
Oh, dude.
Introducing Mountain Murders.
Wow. Okay, that could work.
With alleged criminal Heather.
Yeah, I like how you say alleged about yourself.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know I don't be committing no crimes.
You would not be a good partner in crime.
How am I don't even leave I'm still in my damn pajamas. How am I supposed to leave the house and commit a crime? That would require me like going into public places. Is there like a crime I can commit at home on my couch?
Yeah, it's probably like hacking or some shit.
See, you gotta be smart for that.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to like do basic stuff on my computer.
No, I gotta say, I've been watching. I started a show on Netflix. I think it's called The Biggest Heist or whatever. These dumbass people steal like what ends up being like $4.7 billion worth of Bitcoin. And
well, you'd have to be pretty smart to know how to do that.
Yeah, but this woman.
I don't know anything about Bitcoin.
Look, me either. But anyone out there who's seen this
knows it fit in my change purse.
Knows about the razzle dazzle or razzle doula or whatever.
I want to give them the old razzle dazzle.
It's ridiculous. These people are ridiculous. This woman is very ridiculous, and you should check it out. It's on Netflix. It's true crime.
When you say she's really ridiculous, like she's wearing white after Labor Day ridiculous, or
no, she's
like
created
not a fashion faux pas.
She's created this persona online, and it's just you'll just have to see it.
Well, let's be honest. There's a lot of ridiculousness online. So security footage showed Maldonado trying to hide bulks of items on his person as he's trying to leave the store. The officers were notified of a shoplifting in progress at the very store they were all stationed at. And of course, they start looking around for the suspect. They approached him from different directions, and that's when he tried to escape out of the back of the store. He was apprehended. Investigators say they, quote, think he was stunned.
So all of a sudden there's like 100 cops like coming from all sides.
There were 30 to 40 marked patrol cars in the parking lot.
You think he just was like high on drugs and didn't notice or didn't care?
Well, it says that Maldonado is a repeat shoplifting offender and had an active warrant out for his arrest for failure to appear in court, along with several other open larceny cases. Maybe the guy's just like a klepto.
Maybe he was just turning himself in a very strange way.
Maybe he's just got a problem with,
Maybe
maybe he loves shoplifting. He's got a fucking problem. I don't know.
Maybe he's a dumbass.
Well, there's that too.
Okay.
He doesn't really look like he's splitting the atom. I'll just say. All right, Dylan, let's talk about Jay-Z. So we've been hearing about the diddler for some time now, for months. But now, Jay-Z has had a rape allegation made against him, which he claims is part of an extortion attempt.
Yeah, and for some reason, I thought Jay-Z was going to get tied up in this stuff eventually.
Everyone was speculating.
But can I say, if there's even a grain of truth to what he's been accused of, he's a big old piece of shit. Okay, alleged piece of shit. And if it's not true, then more power to him. And I'm sure he's got plenty of money and a whole team of lawyers to protect him and his. But the allegation is horrifying, in my opinion.
Well, a woman who previously sued Sean Diddy Combs, alleging she was raped at an awards after-show party in 2000 when she was 13, amended the lawsuit Sunday to include a new allegation that Jay-Z was also at the party and participated in the assault. The 24-time Grammy award-winning rapper, producer, and music mogul has called these allegations idiotic and heinous in nature. He did release a statement through Roc Nation, one of his companies. He also revealed that he had anonymously sued the woman's lawyer last month, Tony Busby, alleging he was trying to blackmail the rapper by threatening to make the rape allegation public if he didn't agree to a settlement. He said Busby sent a letter to his lawyer appearing to seek a settlement, but that the letter had the opposite effect on him.
So why can't you just make the statement yourself? Why do you have to release a statement through one of your companies? I mean, what is that? Is that like rich people shit?
Well, Jay-Z's statement read, "No, I will not give you one red penny." What I find interesting about the statement, too, is that he calls himself a young man who, made it out of the hood. And I'm like, bro, you're pushing 60. Okay, the young man from the hood story has sailed. You're now reaching AARP level. You're an older man who made it out the hood. You damn almost 60. You in your late 50s, Jay. You ain't a young man.
No. But he's just a young rapscallion at heart, right?
A little scallywag? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll see how this plays out. I'm very interested to find out where the courts are going to take the diddler and possibly Jay-Z.
Well, look, like I said, if he did this, he's a horrible person. But I just feel like a lot of people in that industry and business have done some foul shit. I mean, I really do, especially if you're at the top for a very, very long time, because, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think these people are just not used to hearing no, because they're at the top of these industries.
Well, I think
they have a ton of money.
When you put yourself in a position of power and you combine that with the constant Illuminati iconography that Jay-Z is known for, with the little triangle symbol, I think the Roc Nation.
Oh, you could talk for
pyramid,
2 hours.
Eye.
Yeah.
And there's all this imagery that leads people to think he's part of some Illuminati or the Black Boule or an occult. There's occult ritual, all this shit. Even if that's just an image, I think when you sell that image over and over and over again, you start to convince them that you are part of some dark, secret society that is capable of murder or rape or sacrifice, whatever. But if you go down the rabbit hole of, I guess, rap, hip-hop, Illuminati, conspiracy bullshit, which, I be going down that rabbit hole. I'd be chasing that little rabbit down the hole looking for my wristwatch. Because I ain't got a pocket watch. Because you know why? I ain't got no pockets in my sweatpants.
Damn.
That I be wearing right now.
But you got some busted-ass sweatpants. You ain't got no pockets in them?
Oh, man, I've had these sweatpants for some years. These things is worn out. But they're so comfy.
Was that Jersey brand?
They're Adidas. Leave me be. Plus, Adidas sweatpants are like $60 a pair. So if I buy a pair, I'm keeping them until they damn fall apart. Jaguar Wright, she was a backup singer for Jay-Z and has been involved in the music industry over the years. She's, for a minute, been dropping these bombshell allegations.
Years.
talking about how Jay-Z was involved in like Aaliyah's death, and that like Aaliyah was a sacrifice to bring Beyonce into the fold, so that because Beyonce took over where Aaliyah would have been, like Aaliyah would be Beyonce status if she were still alive.
I liked Aaliyah more.
I bet you did.
No, I mean, I thought she was more talented than Beyonce, honestly.
Oh my gosh, now the Bayhive or whatever is going to come for you.
Oh, well, tell them to comfort. Tell them
No,
to
I
live.
mean, Beyonce's got a couple hits that are okay, but I've never really been like blown away by her. And I'd have to say I probably did like Aaliyah a little bit better. I mean, honestly, think Rihanna's got more bangers than Beyonce. But anywho, there's been conversation about a woman named Kathy White who was Jay-Z's girlfriend, and she mysteriously died. And a lot of people think that the daughter Blue Ivy is actually Kathy White's daughter and not Beyonce's daughter. I mean, there's all this stuff. When you start unpacking it, I mean, it just kind of spirals out of control, you know? But Jaguar Wright has been saying this for years about not only Diddy, but Jay-Z as well.
Right.
And that he's involved, and if people knew the truth about him, they would be shocked. And Cat Williams did say 2024 was the year it was all going to be revealed, Dylan.
Well, here's the thing.
So who knows?
If you gave me $1 billion tomorrow, I still wouldn't want to have sex with a 13-year-old kid. Just saying.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't think you could ever make me do something like that.
I don't want to do it. I think it's gross.
Really weird. I mean, I think you would have to be kind of a fucked up person to be doing that sort of thing.
And I'm not going to even buy, in this case, I think they were well aware who the person was and their age. And I'm not going to buy that you can't pick out a 13-year-old that's trying to act older, even if she looks to be older than 13. Was she 15 looking? I mean, that's a kid.
Well, you don't meet a 13-year-old who looks like they're 27.
No.
Ever.
No.
I don't care how mature. I mean, and that's just garbage anyway. And what the fuck are you doing? You're a millionaire. You're at this award show with celebrities and whatever. You have to go prey on a child?
Well, that's sick.
Because you can't find a grown-ass person your age? Yeah. Well, we all know Diddy's a freak, so none of it surprises me.
You know what I find funny is there's like 27 documentaries out about Diddy since all this went down. They have wasted no time. Some of these seem like they were already in production before the shit, hit the public. Because they're just part 5, part 6. I mean, it's kind of funny how much material is out there about Sean Combs.
Well, it's pretty interesting from the perspective of someone. Okay. Like, I have always been interested in the like old Hollywood crime and the fixers and how shit was covered up, and the studios created basically propaganda around their stars.
They controlled their whole lives.
They were able to hide any misdeeds, cover it up, whatever. And here we are at a time where we are so globally connected. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's a citizen journalist. You can post whatever you want online and it can go viral. And now all this shit is coming to light. All this darkness is being brought to the light. And it's just interesting to see how for years it was so controlled, as you said.
Right.
And now people ain't holding back. This shit's just coming out like the floodgate is opened.
No, they've tried to clamp down the internet, and in many ways they succeeded in the last 5-6 years, I would say. But they can't fully control it.
So everybody who's done something sus, especially in the entertainment industry, they got their buttholes in a pucker right now.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Good.
If you took part in it, that's your ass. I hope everybody knows what a piece of shit you are.
Yeah, I think we need to expose them. And I also think we've got to move away from this culture of celebrity where it's almost like these celebrities are worshipped by their fans.
We
and
are.
It's very strange, and we need to stop giving them money and giving them attention.
We are moving away from that.
I hope so.
And I honestly think it's the economic pressures and the wealth gaps and things like that. It's like I never, ever in my life made any decision because of what some celebrity said, be it political, be it personal, be it something about a social issue. I don't care what your opinion is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I'm gonna find out about them skincare tips.
I've just never understood people give so much clout to what this person who, plays with a ball or, sings a song or is in a movie thinks. I just want you to do whatever entertainment segment, I'm interested in and just leave it at that.
I have
Back
to say,
in the day, people were not political in the entertainment.
No, they weren't really.
They just were trying to, I'm doing my job. What I think about politics or this or that doesn't matter because they wanted to appeal to as many people as possible.
Well, it seems like even if you were tapped to perform at like an inauguration or something, it didn't necessarily mean like you were a supporter of that president or that was how you leaned politically.
Right.
It was just like an honor to be invited to perform and celebrate. It wasn't necessarily because you supported that person, and then people weren't going to be like, oh, how dare you? I'm never buying your records again.
Exactly.
So, I also think about this, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but the idea of making a movie is so bizarre to me. Like when I was younger, I was like, oh, I would love to be an actor. I wanted to be a screenwriter. Like I thought that would be such an amazing job. And I still would like to be a screenwriter. But just the process of making a movie, to think you're getting up and you're acting out this shit in front of like hundreds of people who are standing around watching you.
Yeah.
Like pretend to cry or have some moment in some movie. I don't know. It's so weird to think about.
Yeah, let alone
I feel like I would be embarrassed to be acting in front of all these people who are watching. I don't know. It just seems very strange when I really think about it.
Well, and let alone doing a scene over and over. That's got to be really weird, don't you think?
Probably. Okay, Dylan. So speaking of sex trafficking, the diddler's not the only one on the chopping block here. We have 3 Florida brothers who have been charged with sex trafficking for alleged incidents dating back more than a decade. Alon Alexander and Oren Alexander, who were 37-year-old twins, along with their brother Tal Alexander, 38, were charged in a federal indictment. All 3, who primarily live in New York and Florida, were arrested in Miami on Wednesday, December 11th. Alon and Tal are real estate moguls in Florida, and their luxury real estate business encompasses both Florida and New York State. Oren is an executive at his family's private security firm.
So, why would you be into trafficking?
Well, the indictment accuses all 3 brothers of carrying out an extensive sex trafficking scheme across domestic and international borders, going all the way back to 2010. The brothers, quote, used their wealth and prominent positions in real estate to create and facilitate opportunities to sexually assault women.
Okay.
So prosecutors are alleging that the brothers met women through dating apps or social contacts before raping them. On an unspecified number of occasions, the brothers allegedly raped their victims together, per the indictment. Yeah.
Disgust. So, same old song and dance. They use their wealth and power to abuse and exploit people.
Prosecutors further allege that the women were lured into the attacks with the promise of material goods or luxury experiences, and on some occasions, the women were reportedly offered these goods and experiences after the attacks. Some of the attacks were pre-planned and involved drugging the women. According to prosecutors, the brothers would research women to determine if they were, quote, sufficiently attractive enough to be invited to their events and trips, where the women would then be assaulted.
So they were trying to figure out if they were rapeable. Really?
It's disgusting.
It's about as disgusting as it gets. I mean, seriously.
The brothers are facing federal charges of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking and sex trafficking, per the indictment. They came under investigation earlier this year following civil lawsuits against them alleging sexual assaults. Man, it's like you said, man, power corrupts these people. You get into a position of power, you've got money, and then you just think you're above the law and that you can do whatever you want.
Well, that's because a lot of times they get away with it, you know? And here's the thing: I wonder this would be a interesting social experiment if you took X amount of regular folks, gave them these opportunities and this type of wealth. How many people would do some old foul shit?
Well, there's poor people out there doing foul shit. So.
Well, no, I know that, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Like, how many people would do the similar stuff? And I hate to say it, but I think it'd be more than one because people are just horrible.
You know, I know, and it's really disheartening. I grew up maybe being more of an idealist and thinking people were good at heart. You know, I grew up in a Baptist church in a family who were churchgoers, and was kind of always taught that people were inherently good and they wanted to help, and I really believed that growing up. And over the years, I guess I've been jaded by the world, but it seems like maybe people aren't really innately good.
I seriously think it's we're just smart animals. I've said it before. We're smart animals, and for the most part, civilization or civilized society is what keeps a lot of this shit in check.
Well, it just seems like you shouldn't have to work hard to make the right choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should just have morals and you should be able to know right from wrong, but it just seems like so many people don't, or they just don't care and they're going to do what they want to do. I don't know.
It's easy for me doing the right thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I watched that Spike Lee movie and I was told to always do the right thing, so I do. The right thing. Okay. Remember that Wisconsin dad and kayaker who faked his own death and then fled the country?
I can't believe he didn't get away with it.
Oh, didn't get away with it. He's in custody. Seems like Ryan Borgwart is going to see his kids for Christmas after all, because according to the Associated Press, the 45-year-old father of 3 who alleged faking his death and fleeing the country was booked into the Green Lake County Jail on Tuesday. Green Lake County Sheriff confirmed in a press conference Wednesday that he arrived on U.S. soil via plane on his own December 10th before he was booked into a correctional facility and is awaiting his initial court appearances. No charges have been yet revealed, so we don't exactly know what he's charged with. But they say Borgwart has been cooperative and returned to the States willingly. They have not confirmed whether he has spoken with his family. Very strange. This guy disappeared on August 12th after going kayaking on Green Lake. Deputies responded to a missing persons call. They found his vehicle and trailer. About an hour after the alarm was raised that he may be missing, they found his kayak capsized in a lake where the water is around 220 feet deep. And then the following day, a fisherman found his fishing rod, Borgwart's fishing rod in the lake, and they found his tackle box. So, of course, they naturally thought this guy had drowned.
Just like you wanted him to.
But instead, he just slipped off into Canada and then went out the country to Uzbekistan, where he had been communicating with a woman.
Yeah, that's where he had a lover in Uzbekistan. That's what it was.
He also took out a $375,000 life insurance policy back in January. So maybe he's in trouble for, like, insurance fraud or something.
So that was the part of the story I didn't understand. How are you going to collect? How are you going to get the money?
Maybe it was for his family.
Gosh.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just such an odd story. And Uzbekistan, of all places. I mean, if you're gonna pick a country, you're gonna run off somewhere. I don't think Uzbekistan's in my top 10. It's even not in my top 20.
You've not even been there. How do you know? It may be amazing.
I don't think so.
Well, if anybody's in Uzbekistan listening
You know
about
how I
murders,
know? Because it's not a tropical climate. So that's how I know it's not for me. There's no blue water. It doesn't look like a beautiful beach in Thailand. I don't want to go.
Hit us up at mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com and let us know what Uzbekistan was like.
Well, I can tell you it's not Belize. All right. A Chattanooga man faces several charges, including stalking, after police say he shared a nude photo of a woman on his Instagram account. Officers arrested 20-year-old Romel Marvin Alexander on Tuesday. A police affidavit says back in October, a woman who had reached out to police beforehand about Alexander's behavior called them to ask for an update on the case because he had just shared a nude photo of her on Instagram. A friend had reached out to the woman about 5 minutes after she said Alexander posted the photo on his account, which had been private but was made public before he posted the photo. The woman was able to find this post, take a screenshot of it. She told officers the photo depicted her in bed asleep while she was topless. She said it came from a video Alexander took without her consent, and the screenshot was of her trying to grab his phone to turn off his video camera. And she thought he had deleted this video, but the Instagram post demonstrated otherwise.
What a dumb... Why?
Now, Alexander, before this incident, had harassed the woman with repeated calls and texts. And I guess during the University of Tennessee's homecoming week in Chattanooga, he had been stalking her, calling her up to 300 times a night. She felt threatened for her safety. So she blocked him on all of social media. And then he started reaching out to her on the Text Now app, which allows a text to go through without the recipient knowing who is texting.
Why does that app exist?
I don't know. So it sounds like this guy has been stalking her and then somehow was able to obtain this nude photo, like through his stalking.
What? So, okay. They weren't in a relationship of any type?
It doesn't sound, I mean, I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't sound, even if they were, none of this is okay.
Well, none of it's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if anybody calls me 300 times in a day, it's going to make me worry.
I'm going to call you 300 times tomorrow.
Nah, I don't believe that.
I'm going to find an app that just keeps calling you.
Why would that app Text Now? That sounds like a tool for people to use to harass people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. Some of these things I just don't understand. Like, why is it even a thing?
Well, that's really, I mean, okay, first of all, it's very scary to think about being stalked.
Oh, it's terrifying.
And there's really not, I mean, the sad part about being the victim of stalking is there's not a lot of help for you.
No, and authorities are a little more aware of it, and certainly there are more laws and things against it, but it's still far from adequate.
I mean, I feel like it's a crime that's treated very differently than most crimes. Like, oh, you got to have this proof and catch somebody in the act. I mean, you have to jump through a lot of hoops if you're a victim to even get like a protective order, and those don't always work. So you're dealing with harassment, somebody calling you, they're cyber stalking you, whatever. And then they escalate to like peeping in your window or breaking in your house and setting up a camera or something. I mean, it's just such a violation of privacy. And then they're going to take that image and post it on social media.
No, it's terrible. No, protective orders aren't worth a damn.
Especially while you're sleeping. I mean, that to me is very threatening. Like, hey, it's letting you know, hey, I can get into your house while you're asleep and get a picture of you.
No.
I mean, that's like really creepy.
Protective orders, if someone violates it, they just get like a lot of times they'll just get like another court date. Instead of,
we pick your ass up and throw you in jail.
If you violate this one time, any part, any phrase of this protective order, you're going to go to jail. You're going to stay there until you go, the judge. It's a mandatory 6 months in jail, and then maybe you get to go to the judge. And that might slow people down a little bit. But, I mean, how many times have we seen the cops just, we're tired of coming here because it's domestic violence, or, they just get, they don't even want to mess with these people anymore, and they're tired of the victim, be it male or female, calling over and over because they're fucking terrified that this person wants to kill them or something. And, it's ridiculous. I've never understood what the point even was if you're not going to go Throw that person in jail as soon as they violate a single letter of the order and keep them there.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there needs to be some stricter penalties for stalking.
They don't have any teeth.
It just seems like one of those crimes that I feel like is not really taken seriously or is kind of discounted. I mean, we've talked over the years of cases where someone ends up, becoming the victim of homicide and they were stalked beforehand.
Yeah, because that's one of those things that keeps evolving and getting worse and worse as the person it's almost like they keep getting away with things. And they feel empowered. I mean, honestly, that's what it seems like.
Scary stuff, Dylan. We'll end on this. You know that Venezuelan prison gang? Is it Trinidad?
The one that we've heard so much about lately?
But that doesn't actually exist, even though people were saying like, oh, they're in our apartment building in Colorado, they've taken over, and then we're told that's not true.
Well, no, they only took over a couple of apartment buildings.
Even though there was video footage, we were told to not believe what we see with our eyes, that kind of thing.
They've only took over a couple of apartment buildings, Heather. It's not that big a deal.
Well, Dylan, this Venezuelan prison gang has spread now to one of the most remote states in America, after an alleged member was arrested for felony theft last month. Local authorities in West Fargo, North Dakota, arrested a suspect who is a gang member. So now this violent gang, which has made a lot of national headlines since 2023, after, allegedly holding members of an apartment building hostage in Aurora, Colorado, they've expanded their territory to more than a dozen U.S. states. And so now they have a presence in North Dakota.
Nice. It's about time North Dakota got some gang activity.
Well, West Fargo has a population of less than 40,000. It's one of the least populated states in the country. So very odd that you would go to a place where you're going to stand out. I mean, you're not exactly going to fit in a place like West Fargo, North Dakota, if you're a criminal enterprise.
If you're a Hispanic gang member.
Well, just any. I mean, if you were the Italian mafia, are you going to go to West Fargo, North Dakota? And I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Well, I am, because there's no other strong criminal presence there, and that means I can control.
If you're part of the Yakuza,
yeah.
Are you going to go there?
Yeah, because I can control all the rackets, because there's no one else there to stand in my way.
So now you are Sylvester Stallone and Tulsa King.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm going to take over the numbers game in Fargo, North Dakota.
Well, recently, I know there were reports of this gang being in Tennessee. In addition to North Dakota, the gang has a presence in Colorado, Texas, California, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Nevada, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Wisconsin.
Damn.
Also, Virginia, Montana, and Wyoming, according to a Homeland Security memo.
Well, here's the thing. It's a criminal organization, and I would never want to be around violent people like that,
Well, it's very scary, just for the lay person, to think of any organized crime, whether it's the mafia or, something like the mafia or a gang, just being in your city and taking over. I mean, it's a very scary thought.
Well, yeah, because these are people who don't mind violence, true horror, brutal violence, and they will do it at any moment, and that's a scary thought. Just to think, and I feel terrible for people that live in areas that have these issues.
That are ravaged by this kind of violence.
Drugs, gangs, violence.
Shootings.
Burglary. That burglary is a very scary crime to me.
Home invasions.
Having someone come inside your house, a home invasion, that's terrifying.
That's very scary.
That you just answer your door whatever, completely unaware, and somebody kicks the door in and 5, 6 people rush in, take complete control of you and your family.
Dude, a plumber came over today and needed in the basement, and he's the plumber and he's got his little plumber truck, but I was a little like, it weirds me out to even let someone in my house that's supposed to be in my house.
Right. Oh, so really, while I was at work, a plumber come by and checked your pipes?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's because Renee had a clog. So she shared him with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he checked.
We're working together.
He checked both of you guys' pipes?
Yeah.
Wow.
He told me about we're old and rusty.
He said y'all got lead pipes.
he's like, bitch, your pipes is 44 years old. You need to update these pipes.
Thought the pipes look better in Flint, Michigan. Shit.
Probably.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I'm sorry. I was a bit low energy. Been fighting life, I guess. You know,
Aren't we all?
Sometimes it gets the upper hand on me.
That's life.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
And we hope this podcast finds everybody
No, we don't. No, we don't, Dylan.
happy, healthy,
No.
and fed.
Stop.
That's true.
Stop it.
T-shirts are on the way.
I hope that I find you limber and not stiff as a damn board and cold like I am.
Well, that's not going to happen. So I'm off to go make some noises. Got to grunt a little bit before I go to sleep. And I think I'm going to try to talk Heather into taking a shower.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You can try. I'll only agree if you get me some frozen custard.
All right. So until next time.
Stay frothy.
Stay frothy.
Bye.
Bye.